Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host Brian,
All right, buddy.
joined by friend of the show, host of the Strat Chat podcast, Kyle Petty.
Hi, hello, and good evening.
We are back to talk the Traitors UK. This is season 2. We're back for the beginning of week 2. This is episode 4. Like and subscribe here and on TikTok to catch all of our Traitors coverage. We were left on a cliffhanger, guys. The vote. It was really between Ash and Brian, both sitting with 6 votes. Diane did have 3. Anthony, the last one to vote for the banishment. And as Brian and I had predicted, they did send Brian home. Brian was a little hyperactive. Brian just kind of drew a little too much attention to himself, revealed himself to be a faithful. They all act shocked like they always do. And we moved on. Any reaction here, guys? Anyone surprised by this?
No, not at all.
I wasn't surprised, but I was a little disappointed. This man was really the whole reason for his undoing, right? His whole spiral was like really tough to watch. And
oh my god!
Listen, I know because I'm the viewer. I know you're not a traitor, but I would have a really rough go not voting for you if I was sitting at that table. He did it to himself.
I agree. I agree. Just
I don't think that many eyes were on him until
the blow up.
Yeah. Right. And it's really unfortunate.
Is it hot in here? Is it hot in here?
Yeah, exactly. Right. He truly did it to himself. And it was
guys,
like
I just want to be here.
It was a rough watch. Yeah.
You're speaking to a point too, obviously, for the person who came in second and who finds themselves at the precipice of elimination again here at the end of the episode is our girl Ash Ketchum. She just she did the same thing. She talked to every single person. She had repetitive conversations. Who do you think the traitor is? Why do you think this way? Like she was interviewing people and keeping notes. It just kind of bugged people. And besides the fact that it was annoying, I think people were genuine. Like, I think she just has no chill. And as we'll kind of talk about the format of this episode with the dungeon, as soon as they saw her in the dungeon, she was kind of locked up. I think, in my opinion, of the group, they all kind of knew she was a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the amount of, like, if you're playing this game, you're faithful, and you see all these people have these votes, and you want to protect yourself. Like it's easy to throw votes on her the next time, anyways. Like you have to get a shield or do something crazy drastic for me to be shifting if it came down to a tie last episode, last banishment ceremony, to not vote for her.
Right, because your name was already out there, and we already know from the Traitors, once your name is out there, that's the beginning of the end for you, right? Because it's so easy for people to say your name again. But Ash, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but I have to agree a little bit with Paul in the sense that I don't think that she was playing super, super well.
No,
and I think that the edit really kind of did her some favors, because there was even a moment after Claudia had selected the traitors. I don't know if anybody else caught this, but she had said, "To my traitors," and Ash went, and it's already you're messing up. And I said, "You know what? You're out." I was like, "You're going to be the first traitor out," and
she was tough.
She is. And it's if that is something that they left in the edit, as an oopsie, I can't even imagine how many other missteps she made along the way that led to this moment. So it's let's get out of here so we can actually start playing.
No issue with Paul and Harry's decision to throw her a vote her way, not once, but twice in a row now, as we see in the vote this episode. I think for their game, it's better to get her out. It's good for them to be on the side of shown publicly now a few weeks in a row saying, I don't trust you. And they left us, like we said, on the cliffhanger, right? Now we know she's getting voted out. That's a given. Are they holding it because is she gonna flamethrower on the way out? Is she gonna kind of make so? I know it's probably in their contracts; they're not allowed to reveal who the other traitors are. But
right,
is she gonna kind of make a kind of a speech that leads people a certain way? Or I don't see a reason to really stop at that exact moment.
If she was gonna flamethrower her out, she should have cast a vote for one of the traitors, which happened last season, where Kieran, one of the final traders, was like, "This is my parting gift," and it was Wilf, and then they finally picked up on it. And if she want, that would be, to me, a flamethrower move. I don't think she's gonna say anything. I think it's just for shock value. It's people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, already."
Yeah, it's just so strange. Like, what's the shock behind that though? Like, we've been known like
Yeah,
that
right.
she's a traitor. Like, I'm so curious as
Well,
to
yeah, I
why they did
counted.
that.
I have
But
the
like, but
votes
what
here. It's
else
one,
could it
two, three,
be?
four.
She can't do much else, especially because where they cut off in the edit, it was like, I am a
They have
ah.
13 votes on her right
What
now.
is that?
Like,
Yeah,
Maybe
like
she. What
it's
if she
over.
lies and then they're like, "Wait a minute, no, you are a traitor." Like,
You're not allowed to say that,
yeah,
Ash.
like that happened
that's
in
what I
F Boy
want to know is
Island.
happening here. Like, why
Yeah,
do they stop? Right? Is this a British thing that I'm not picking up on? They just
they
No,
don't
didn't do
care
that
about.
at all last season. There's nothing in the like
never
cuts
seen
like
that
that
before.
where
Not like that.
they did it like that. So I don't know what it is. I mean, they did switch a lot of things up so far this season. So maybe maybe something's gonna happen. I mean, it just could be. I hope she doesn't throw people under the bus. Like she should have done it in the vote because that's the most like discreet way to like you're not making like you look like a sore loser, but you're just like this is who I'm voting for. I have a hitch here, and
Uh, the other thing I did want to bring up, you guys kind of alluded to, was the formatting of this episode. I like that it wasn't just a straight murder this week. We did have the four people being condemned, and we kind of talked about the strategy behind that. They threw Andrew and Meg in as far as faithful. Ash and Paul brought themselves in. Um, I thought the better strategy would have been to throw four faithful in because they just start pointing fingers at each other. None of them are actually guilty, but you just cause like that hysteria. Like you said, Kyle, Paul, and Brian, we thought last week Paul was playing a great game, but Paul, I think, even starting with this decision, really drew a lot of eyes onto himself. And I think that's just going to continue. Jazz calls him out specifically at the end and is like, "You're the only one here who's not sweating anything. You're smiling. You don't look stressed. You're just like, you're all good." And like, that is a tell.
yeah,
Totally. And if we're gonna talk about Paul, he sucks
Talk
so
about
much.
Paul.
He sucks so much. I can't stand this man. Like he's just so cocky and like overconfident. Like you're literally like there's no version of me that can possibly root for him. Like I only want to see him go down. And I feel like the game will actually start once he leaves. Because every bit of me is consumed with how do we get Paul out of here?
Like, for Kyle, the season doesn't start until Paul's
it doesn't.
gone.
Like Paul's gotta go. Sitting back with all his smirking, he's like, oh, holding his legs when he's in that chair. He's like, oh, I just love this game so much. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see if you love it so much on your way out. Like I'm so sick of him.
Paul did have my cringe line of this episode. It was during the kind of like interrogation roundtable they have when they were pushing on him. He said, "I only want to talk about traitor things." Like, what are traitor things, Paul? Like, you don't want to talk about Paul? I was like, get him, Jazz. Go on, pushing this guy. I don't want this guy to cruise. Like I said, I want there to be anarchy. I would love for there to lose two traitors in a row and have there be like one traitor floating around for a while. Like that would be interesting, right? I don't want like I think Harry's doing a good job as a traitor. But I don't need to see him and Paul just cruising the whole time, like having their good old time. I do need there to be some exposure. Ash, unfortunately, gave away a traitor way earlier than I think they thought someone would go, but she just stunk as a traitor, unless that was the producer's idea. They're like, oh, let's put someone out there who's going to blow it up early. But I'm not as pro Paul as I was episodes 1 through 3. But what's interesting is that we have 2 more this week. So, like, my tune could change. Like, you could make a good gameplay move tomorrow night, and I'll be back on Team Paul against Kyle.
Yeah, sorry, I'll never be on Team Paul. Never. I don't care what he does.
Yeah, I'm just super interested if they do get rid of 2 traitors. They don't know that there's 4 in the game. They only I would think that they would assume there's only 3.
I agree.
They start. They would start with 2, and then they made a 3rd. And Kyle, because you weren't here last week, what are your thoughts on do you think they'll do the same thing later? Will they'll add a potential 5th traitor that would be the 5th traitor of the game? Not like 5 at the same time, but like, do you think they'll do that? That's a lot. That seems like a lot to me.
I feel like it's only a lot depending on how the game runs. Like that's something you can kind of keep fluid. Yeah, if you lose enough traitors, like you can't just. It's not interesting as a viewer. Like let's just say like episode 6, we get rid of the original 4. Like we can't just coast along with Old Faithfuls. Like that's not exciting to watch. Like there's got to be somebody else because that's the whole second half of the game.
Yeah,
like.
But if they keep it at 2, I don't think they need to get. I think 2. I don't know. I don't. 5 just seems like how many there's 20. How many people? 20 people there.
There were 22, I think, that we started with.
Yeah.
So that's a fourth of the cast could be a traitor. I just found that to be a lot.
Yeah, right now there was
opinion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
They got to follow the rule of the Sith.
There were 17. Yeah, rule 2. There were 17 people there as of the votes, at least what they presented. I mean, there might have been more, but
I just want to see some more people involved. I feel like we're just really focused on like the same like 5 or 6 people. And there's some interesting people that I'd like to know a little bit more about. But I know it's still early days, but
I agree. Like the one caveat for like why the US one is interesting on the other side of it not being civilians is that we don't really, people like ourselves who watch these shows, we don't need to get to know any of them. We already know their deal, right? So I don't need 8 minutes with Johnny Bananas, right? Like
for the
we're kind of going to hit the ground running.
That's like the one thing I'm looking forward to with that show. This one, like you're saying, Brian, I do want to get to know them, but like they do need to kind of invest me in that a little bit. We're doing that other show, the Trust show, and frankly, like I feel like I know more about those people, and they only did like 3 quick episodes. You know what I mean? So like I do think they need to do a better job as we go forward with lesser numbers, letting me know like why I should root for someone versus not. So
especially like we lost our buddy with the old man that we wanted to see more of. One person I just wanted to see him like literally involved in the game a little bit more because he just seemed like a wacko. But
who's that? Aubrey?
Yeah, Aubrey, I want to see Aubrey like get into a confrontation at the round table.
I wanted him smoking a pipe, asking questions.
Yeah, with his little like lucky charm elf stuff. There's little stuff going on.
I would pull his pocket watch out and be like, "It is 11:45."
Right.
At this time last evening, you were supposed to be in bed.
And I think as like when we watch these reality TV shows, I think you need to at least give some of the people on the show like some screen time so we can learn a little bit about them, like and not cut them without giving a little bit of justice too. Just knowing what they're about, even if it's just a smidge.
I think more shows should do what. And it's funny because we rag on this a lot, but like what a Survivor does. Even those social media videos, you get even like 90 seconds of. Yeah, you get like 90 seconds of somebody, what their life is, who they are. And yeah, there's still maybe go over some of that in the episodes, but there's definitely information in there. We at least have some familiarity. These shows themselves need to do better about doing even like preview write-ups on their sites or something on their social media. Like I really think all of these shows would be a service, honestly. Like I said, we do the preview specials on our channel, just even try to give our people an idea of like what's coming up and who the people are. And we find it by finding random articles and stuff, but you shouldn't have to like wait until like a week before to do that.
So. I mean, they could go the challenge 39 round and just never eliminated about anybody. And we're 13 episodes in and we still have the entire cast. And
well, thank God none of us here have done. Oh no. Oh God.
Brian's just trying to get me fired up.
I am. I'm poking the bear down
here. Absolutely. Don't do it. Please don't do it. I'll go on a whole rant.
Get the bear. Yeah. So overall, though, like I'm curious to see where tomorrow's episode goes. Weird cliffhanger. Good season. Like I think a good way you put it, Kyle. Good bones. Good bones this season. But very curious to see what we do post Ash and the development of there being one less traitor in the house. Kyle, what is going on now with Strat Chat in the new year?
Strat Chat is kind of silent right now. We're doing the challenge 39, right? That's on Thursdays at 9:30. We're live. But other than that, like we're pretty quiet. We're still figuring out when we want to do the Traitors. US, we're not going to be doing Traitors UK at all. The Traitors US, like, because we don't want to give up on Monday nights. We've been enjoying just like having some peace, because Big Brother takes up a lot of your time. But yeah, challenge 39 on Thursdays on all your socials at Strat Chat Pod.
And you'll find Kyle here more than likely with us for a lot of these reviews too. So
yeah, for January, I'm definitely more on the reality guys.
You need your Kyle on my own. You need your Kyle fix. You just come right on over.
Yeah, you come over.
Lots of shows coming. Like I mentioned, everything from Vanderpump Rules, Survivor next month, Love Island, All Stars coming up, Traitors US, Traitors UK, doing the Southern Charm reunion this week. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta came back. What else? Singles Inferno finale, Trust the Game of Greed as well, all in the Reality Guys channel this week, besides Survivor and Vanderpump Rules and Love Island All Stars. That's next week. But they're all coming.
This.
But they're all coming. I named like 6 or 7 things, guys. There's things.
Yeah,
Check the
it's just
TikTok
so
out as
funny.
well. Doing the reviews over there. So there we go. It's good. They're good there. But for myself, Brian, Kyle, everyone here at The Reality Guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace.